Listen to me carefully. That rejection you're still carrying around like a weight in your chest, the one that convinced you that you're not enough, that you're too much, that you're somehow fundamentally flawed, that wasn't rejection. That was control. And the difference will change everything about how you see yourself, how you move forward, and how you choose people from now on. If this sounds like I'm speaking directly to your soul, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments what pattern of rejection has hurt you the most. I read every single comment, and your story of survival might be exactly what saves someone else scrolling through this pain today. Here's what Carl Rogers, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, taught us about human worth. Your value isn't determined by someone else's capacity to see it. Your worth isn't a democracy where everyone gets to vote. But narcissists, they've weaponized your natural need for connection. They've turned your healthy desire to be chosen into a tool for their own psychological survival. You think they rejected you because you weren't smart enough, attractive enough, successful enough, stable enough. You've been dissecting every conversation, every moment, every choice you made, trying to find the fatal flaw that made you unworthy. But here's the brutal truth that will set you free. They rejected you because you were too real, too authentic, too threatening to their carefully constructed house of mirrors. Narcissists don't reject people the way healthy humans do. They discard them. There's a world of difference. Rejection implies evaluation, consideration, a genuine decision based on compatibility, timing, or circumstances. What you experienced was something else entirely, a calculated move designed to make you question everything about yourself, while they remained untouchable, unblameable, forever superior in their own narrative. They didn't leave because you weren't enough. They left because you were becoming too much of yourself, and that terrified them more than you can imagine. Think about the timing. When did this rejection happen? Right when you started setting boundaries, right when you began asking for basic respect and consistency, right when you stopped shrinking yourself to make them comfortable, right when you questioned their behavior or called out their contradictions. That wasn't coincidence, that was strategy. Rogers believed that every person has an inherent tendency toward growth, toward becoming their most authentic self. He called it self-actualization. But narcissists can't stand your growth because it exposes their stagnation. They can't celebrate your authenticity because it highlights their performance. They can't love your wholeness because they're terrified of their own emptiness. So they reject you, not for who you are, but for who you're becoming. And then, this is the cruel part, they make you believe it's a character flaw instead of a threat to their control. The rejection you're mourning, the one that has you awake at 3 a.m. wondering what's wrong with you. It was actually protection. It was life saying, this person cannot handle your light, your truth, your evolution. This person needs you small, confused, and constantly seeking their approval to feel powerful. You've been grieving a loss that was actually a liberation. You've been trying to heal from rejection that was actually selection. Life selecting you out of a situation that would have slowly eroded your soul, your confidence, your ability to trust your own perception of reality. Here's what I need you to understand deep in your bones. Healthy love doesn't require you to dim your brightness. Healthy connection doesn't punish you for growing. Real intimacy doesn't reject you for being authentically yourself. The right person, the right relationship, the right opportunity won't be threatened by your wholeness. They'll celebrate it. They won't need to control your growth to feel secure. They won't need to reject your authenticity to feel superior. They won't need to keep you confused to keep you attached. Stop trying to heal from their rejection. Start celebrating your escape. You weren't rejected. You were freed. The pain you're feeling isn't about losing them. It's about awakening to how long you accepted being diminished. It's your authentic self, mourning all the times you made yourself smaller, quieter, less vibrant for someone who was never worthy of your vastness. That ache in your chest isn't heartbreak over what you lost. It's your soul expanding back to its natural size after being compressed for so long. It's growing pains in reverse, the beautiful agony of returning to yourself. The rejection wasn't real. The control was, the manipulation was, the systematic erosion of your self-trust was. But their opinion of your worth? That was never real. That was projection, deflection, and desperation masquerading as judgment. And now that you see it clearly, you're free. Free to choose people who don't need to diminish you to feel whole. Free to choose situations that celebrate your growth instead of punishing it. Free to choose yourself so completely that their opinion becomes background noise. You don't need to be chosen by people who can't handle your authentic self. You need to choose yourself so fiercely that their rejection becomes irrelevant. That wasn't rejection you survived. That was liberation you earned. That was your soul saying, I'm worth more than this performance, more than this confusion, more than this constant audition for love. But here's what happens next, and this is crucial. You're going to want to go back. You're going to want to prove them wrong, to show them you were worthy all along. Don't. That's the trap that keeps you imprisoned even after you're free. The urge to return, to convince, to prove your worth to someone who discarded you. That's not love calling you back. That's trauma bonding. That's your nervous system still believing that their validation equals your survival. Carl Rogers taught us about unconditional positive regard, the idea that your worth doesn't depend on meeting conditions set by others. But narcissists operate on the exact opposite principle: conditional everything. Conditional love, conditional respect, conditional basic human decency. They trained you to believe that love is earned through compliance, that acceptance comes through self-abandonment, that connection requires disconnection from yourself. They convinced you that their inconsistent attention was better than no attention at all. But inconsistent love isn't love, it's manipulation. Hot and cold isn't passion, it's control. Being chosen sometimes isn't being chosen, it's being used. The rejection you experienced wasn't a verdict on your worth, it was information about their capacity. It wasn't about your inability to love correctly, it was about their inability to love at all. Here's what I want you to remember when the loneliness hits, when you start romanticizing what you lost. You didn't lose a person. You lost an illusion. You didn't lose love. You lost the exhausting performance of trying to earn what should have been freely given. The person you're missing never existed. What you're grieving is the potential you saw, the future you imagined, the person they could have been if they were capable of growth, empathy, genuine connection. But they weren't. And that's not your failing. That's their limitation. You're not rejected, you're redirected, you're not unwanted. You're ungovernable by someone who needed to control you to feel whole. The right love won't reject your authenticity. It will require it. The right person won't discard you for growing, nor they'll grow alongside you. The right relationship won't punish you for having boundaries. It will respect them from the beginning. Stop trying to heal what they broke in you. Start celebrating what they could never touch. Your ability to love genuinely, to trust deeply, to hope courageously, to remain soft in a world that tried to make you hard. The rejection was their loss. Your freedom is your victory. Your authenticity is your superpower. And your capacity to choose yourself completely. That's your revolution. You weren't rejected. You were selected by life itself to experience something far greater than their conditional crumbs. Selected to discover that your worth was never up for debate. Selected to learn that being chosen by yourself is the only choice that matters. That wasn't rejection. That was redirection toward everything you actually deserve.